Texas plans to withdraw from a federal refugee resettlement program if its demands are not met by today. Governor Greg Abbott wants a tougher vetting process to ensure refugees escaping from the Syrian civil war are not a security risk. After the Paris attacks in November last year, Texas unsuccessfully sued the federal government to try and block resettlements. Then last week, the state sent a letter to the federal agency warning of its plans to withdraw from the refugee program. So joining me now to talk about it is Donna Dubin, the executive director at International Rescue Committee, which is one of the resettlement agencies here in Dallas. Good morning, Donna.
Good morning.
Okay, so today's the day. What, from your perspective, from your agency, what you all are doing, what happens, if the state withdraws from this refugee resettlement program?
Well, we're still waiting to hear what the final decision will be, but we know that we've been involved with a collaborative relationship with the state now for over 40 years, and we really hope that that will end successfully with the state continuing in their role.
But what if they don't? Yeah.
Well, the good news is that this is not the only model for how refugee resettlement can be conducted in a state. And there are other states that have had their refugee resettlement programs administered by a different model. And so we're looking at that as well. What are the contingency plans for us to be able to do that in Texas so we can continue to provide services without any gaps in service at all?
And how would that be different than what's happening right now?
Well, right now the federal government works directly with the state to be able to pass on to resettlement agencies the funding that's necessary to be able to provide services. So if the state were to withdraw, we would have 120 days to put together another game plan to identify either another nonprofit or a consortium of nonprofits that would be able to administer those funds within the state of Texas.
So we know that about 900 Syrians have resettled in the state of Texas since October of last year, but let's talk specifically about our area. How many have come to the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Right. Well, in the Metroplex area, there have been 450 or so Syrians who have been resettled. And I think the reason most people are not aware of that is that families are very quick and very avid about integrating into the community as quickly as possible. And of course, resettlement agencies don't do this all by ourselves. We do this with a lot of community support. So oftentimes churches and other folks are involved in helping families to get resettled and get them really acclimated to their new community.
Refugees have been coming to the United States under an official refugee status for years. But it's really just more in the news lately because of what's going on in Syria. And so talk about what the screening process is like and what the rigors are that these people are going through before they get here.
Right. Well, it is the most robust program for vetting and for screening any place at all in the world. So the U.S. really takes the lead in that regard. The process itself can take on average anywhere between 18 and 24 months. So there are about 20 different security checks that happen for a family or for an individual before they're able to be approved to even step foot on U.S. soil. And those security checks involve everything from interviews with immigration officials to having biometric checks, fingerprints, etc., being checked by Department of Defense, to also checks done by the Homeland Security against various different databases. So they want to make sure, again, that if anything is at all out of line or there are any questions whatsoever about somebody's background, that they'll either recheck that or even take them off the list for approval.
Do you understand, though, why the state of Texas is threatening to withdraw, citing the concerns that they've mentioned?
Well, I think it's become a very politicized issue. And I think everything that we know about the background check and the assurances that we have coming from the U.S. State Department, which is equally concerned about safety and security of Americans, that when this has become a politicized issue, it's really less about the details and about the facts than it is about the rhetoric and about the presumptions.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens today. Donna Dubin, thank you again so much for coming in. We appreciate
Thank you so
the
much.
time.